Okay, now, welcome to Voice of the Valley with Cathy Wilcox. It is the last Monday in January of 2012, unbelievable but true. And we have a really special show, but more about that in a minute. First, I want to welcome you all and do our animal promo for the Valley Animal Shelter. If we could put up our little adoptees for this week. This is Aphrodite. Oh, she's so cute. She's a little girl dog, and she's a little on the small side for her breed. I don't know what that is. But she has tons of personality. She gets along with the other. I feel like Toddlers and Tiara when they're announcing the girls. She loves hot dogs, and she likes to play with her daddy. She gets along with other dogs, except that she doesn't like to share her food. Well, I don't either, so we have that in common. Her favorite thing to do, go on walks and get tummy rubs, just like me. So that's Aphrodite. Oh, she's so cute. She looks like that little doggy from, what was it, the kids show 100 years ago? What kids, you know?
Spanky in the game?
That's it. God, you're not even old enough to know that. Spanky, yeah. So let's go to Jenny, our little kitty cat. Oh, there's little Jenny, the kitty cat, 7-year-old domestic short hair female. She's very friendly, and she's a staff favorite. All of the animals would be my favorite. She would love to be an only kitty in a forever home. God, that breaks my heart. Preferably a home with lots of spots to bask in the sunshine. And she came to her shelter with her sister, who's been adopted, and she's waiting her turn. And so you can contact Rosie Davenport at the Valley Animal Center. All of the animals are spayed and neutered. They're current on their vaccines. They're tested for FIV, FELV. They're microchipped, flea-treated, and dewormed. And if you have an interest in either Aphrodite or Jenny, please call 233-8554, or the Dog Adoption Center is 233-8717. And, of course, you can email them at info@valleyanimal.org. And they're open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 4:30. And every potential adopter is required to submit an adoption application for consideration for adoption. And once it's approved, there's an $85 adoption fee for cats, and the adoption fee is $175 for dogs. So please take advantage of that. Let's give these cutie pies a home. I wish they could all come home with me, but call Rosie Davenport there, and she will definitely take care of you. Okay. The next announcement is, since I'm now working with Keep It For Hire with my friend Jennifer Barnett, we're having a single mixer at AppCal, and that's in Madera, and that's this Friday night from 6 to 9. So if you're single and you would like to come and you need more information, message me, and I'll be happy to get that information to you. And I'm sure that all of the world and most of America is waiting for the countdown for the Super Bowl. Frankly, I could care less because the 49ers aren't in it this year. But I will watch because of the commercials, and that's the only reason I will watch. But the big countdown for me, okay, March 19th, Dancing with the Stars is I don't know what season this is, 14 or whatever, but it's 49 days from tomorrow. That's the countdown that we're on, okay? My audience, we're all about dancing here and Dancing with the Stars. So 49 days from tomorrow, okay? Mark your calendars. Right. So, like I said, we have a very, very special show today. And with us for the hour are, or is, not sure which, Vigen Associates. And I would like to introduce Len and, oh God, I'm sorry. See, I'm so nervous having you in my studio. Charlie and?
I'm
Len and Charlie. Okay. Introduce yourselves, first, last names, what you do, and?
I'm Len Osborne. I'm the principal architect with Vigen Associates.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Charlie Brown. I'm Director of Operations and Senior Project Manager.
Excellent. And I will forgo of any Charlie Brown jokes because I'm sure that you have lived a lifetime of Charlie Brown jokes, and there isn't possibly anything that I could come up with that would be original.
Probably
correct?
not.
Okay. I won't even try. I won't even go there. So we are going to get into the whole architectural mood And the only thing I know about architecture I learned from Mike Brady on the Brady Bunch, because he was an architect and he had his little room that he'd go in there and he'd have his big drafting board, and he'd always have time to give all the kids that came in his wisdom. So we're going to run some photos, and is it a video or just photos?
It's a video, basically.
Okay,
like a
video.
slideshow.
Kind of the history of Vigen.
Shows many of the outstanding projects.
Okay.
we've done.
The projects, and then we'll get back and we will talk about the history. We'll talk about Gary Vigen, and we'll get into architecture. So, Kylie, can you run that for me, please? Okay, so why don't you kind of like walk us through kind of what, I mean, some of them are obvious, but, just kind of a background and how you put this together and what it means, and maybe some highlights and tidbits of information that we certainly wouldn't know, but you would.
Just one of my country club was
Yeah.
a project long ago.
Belmont Country Club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of these, you'll have to excuse me, I don't quite recognize. 'Cause
Oh, that's
I
okay.
haven't been with the company as long as they come up here.
But architecture to me, I know you have to be really, really smart, which is why I never got into architecture, well, one of many reasons. But you obviously have to have a degree.
No, not necessarily.
Really?
No, you can go on work experience, internship with an architect.
Okay.
Basically, 5 years work experience with an architect and 3 years of internship, and you can get your license.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Start
Okay.
getting your license.
Start getting your license, basically. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of testing and.
Oh, that I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that basically qualifies you for it.
Is that what you did?
Yeah. That's what I'm working towards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. When will you be done with that?
2.5, 3 years ish.
Yeah?
No, I'm working towards it.
I'm sure that a lot of these buildings are so familiar, and I had no idea that Gary and Vigen Associates were behind these. Lots of McDonald's. Lots
Yeah.
of McDonald's.
Well, yeah, Gary's Vigen Associates has been one of the longest standing architects with the local McDonald's region, which covers pretty much Northern California and into Nevada.
Wow.
So yeah, there's probably not very many projects, McDonald's projects around California, at least the northern half of California, that haven't gone through Vigen Associates' office.
That is really exciting.
And they kind of came to us just out of the blue. They came in and asked us to design their 35th anniversary building, which
And-
is up by Fresno State. It's been remodeled
okay,
recently.
okay.
It was,
And
That turned out
obviously, award-winning buildings.
Yes.
Mhm.
And we're going to, okay, Wine Press, oh, I love that building. That's beautiful. Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gary was from,
From Minnesota.
that's right.
Yeah,
All right.
that's where he got his start. Well, went to school in Flagstaff, I believe, Tucson. Went to school in Tucson, and then went back to practice architecture in Minnesota, and then moved to California. Some government jobs, post offices. That's Clintoner Station over off of Olive.
Okay. Very contemporary designs,
Very.
very modern.
Yes.
Okay. Very clean lines, but very aesthetically pleasing,
Oh,
you
yes.
know? Oh,
And there we
then
are.
that's it. Okay. Well, welcome back. So, you have prepared some questions, and I appreciate that because I really wouldn't know where to start. Like I said, all I know I learned from the Brady Bunch, so that's not saying very much, is it? So,
Me too.
really?
All
Was he
about
like your
Marcia.
idol? You wanted to be Mike Brady? Yeah, I know. I wanted to be, what's her name? Marcia. I wanted to be Marcia. Okay. So, what's the history of Vigen? How did this all come about? Tell us a little bit about Gary And
One of the Gary's fellow students was from Fresno, and after Gary was licensed, he was working back east at the time, and I guess he wanted to move out this direction. So he called this person here in town, Stevens. Bob Stevens' son. What was his? I can't hear you.
Bill Stevens.
Bill Stevens. Yeah.
Yes.
And he was invited out Gary was invited out to become the project architect on Fresno State's stadium. So he did that.
outstanding.
So that's a good start.
That's a great start.
Yeah.
Wow. By the way, again, I want to remind you that you can ask questions in real time of our guests. And when you're looking at your screen, it's just to the right, and you can type in your question, and we will get that, and we'll get those answered for you in real time. So, okay, so that is, now, Gary Vigen, I want to make clear, this is his business,
It's
and
his baby.
you're his family,
Yeah,
and
very much.
we have a wonderful studio audience. Just about the whole office came down. So that's why I am more nervous than I usually am, because I have a studio audience, and I'm trying to do a really good job, but I'm especially nervous because there's a personal aspect to the story and why I wanted you to come in, not only to talk about architecture, but to honor an exceptional man who started this whole organization, honor his family and his architectural family. Okay, so that's kind of the background, and unfortunately, Gary passed away suddenly late last year, and so we want to really honor him and his projects and really get the word out about, because you don't have to be building a humongous building to hire an architect, is that right?
Nope.
Okay.
Just about anything. I mean, pretty much any building that you go to, any place that you go to school, you shop, your home, all of it at one point or another has been touched by an architect.
Absolutely.
So, even the small restrooms that you see at Roding Park or over at any of those parks generally have gone through the hands or the office of an architect.
So what's the process? So you do commercial, residential,
Correct.
and
No,
what's
just
left?
pretty much
Nothing.
industrial.
Okay, industrial. What's the difference between commercial and industrial then?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Commercial is pretty much
okay.
retail type businesses around town, where industrial is a major manufacturing, or sometimes in the valley, it's ag-related, some food processing.
Okay.
That type of
Warehousing is usually
a lot of
industrial.
that, so.
Okay. So for me, because I have a house, I don't have a company or anything, one of the things that really intimidates me is that when I think of architect, I think, oh my God, that's like so expensive, and it's a huge building that needs to go up. I don't think in terms of like a homeowner going to an architect. So I can't be the only one that feels that way, that has that kind of, ooh, I don't, what do you do for homeowners? Like,
Pretty common perception of what
is
an
it?
architect
Is it? Okay,
is.
good. So I'm not out there the only bozo on the bus. There are other people that feel that way. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm really,
So, but one of the things we could do initially for people who are not really, don't have a real good idea what their project really wants to be. They got a vague idea. But we can help them define that early on in the process.
and how do you do that? How do you get somebody to zero
Sit
in?
down and talk to you basically about things you need. And we can say, well, okay, that's good, but, we refine it by looking at reality.
Okay, and obviously their budget.
That's
That's a
big
part of reality. That defines reality.
Really, this costs money. Your service costs money?
Actually,
you would hope.
It actually pays for itself.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love the
So-
way you said that.
So that we can go out there on a wider range and spend as much as you want, but not necessarily you have to do that.
Right.
And,
Well, somebody like me, I want the best of everything. I mean, who doesn't? But,
okay.
obviously I'm gonna, more of a beer, wine cooler, that kind of a budget.
Perfect.
So how do you get people to scale down and kind of deal in reality? I'd want to, riding stables next to the tennis court, next to the, the pool house, and
Sit down and talk, spend a little bit of time looking at the wants and needs, like Len said, to balance them out a little bit. We do offer up front some free consultation services for anybody. If you're not sure, if you're even ready to have an architect involved, give a call, come down to the office, we'll sit down with you, talk to you about your project, talk to you about what you want, give you options to work with, and figure out exactly where you need to go. There's a lot of this as a homeowner, especially if you're dealing in residential, that you have control over yourself, and we can help you, guide you through that process a little bit, just so that you have those tools available.
Okay.
Just kind of put it out there for you to work with.
so kind of what I'm hearing is that if you don't be afraid to call you to at least get some information.
No, sure.
Pick up the phone and call you. Okay, I hope this isn't a stupid question, but again, I know nothing. So do you build pools in like backyards, or is that not your genre?
Certainly part of a master plan that we
Yeah.
could look at.
But not just
do
a pool?
The fine,
Like-
technical details of a pool necessarily, but
So-
certainly the
We can
finished
guide-
materials and size and.
Guidance, we can guide through the permitting process, because everything that is
Oh, let's
built
talk about that. What
needs
is
to
that
be
like?
permitted.
Yeah. What is that like in Fresno? I mean, I would imagine it would go on the scale of the project, or where it's located, where the zoning is,
Exactly.
and that kind of thing.
All of that comes into play.
Now, do you include that in your fee, like overall,
Yes.
like this
Oh,
is,
yeah.
okay, so when you give an estimate, all of those things, so
Exactly.
the person is like, "Phew, I don't have to worry about that, I don't have to
Yep.
go down to City Hall and
Yep.
apply for the, okay. So you carry the headache of that.
Exactly.
Outstanding, because I would want somebody to take that. In fact, I have a guy, I tried to download my shows to post on YouTube, and I got so frustrated, I just said it's easier just to call somebody and pay them to do it, as opposed to,
Oh, yeah.
driving me over the bend. So we're going to wrap up this segment, and we're going to get into some more facts about architecture, and I'm already learning lots and lots. So don't forget, you can ask questions, and we'll be back with Charlie and Len in just a couple of minutes. Clap, we're back. We are back. We are back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a standing ovation, but really it's not necessary. We're back with Vigen Associates, Len and Charlie, and we were talking during the break. Some interesting things came up, at least to me, because I equate the level of education and skill of an architect with that of a doctor or lawyer. And, lawyers and doctors are always getting hit up for free advice or free services or whatever. What when you go to like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever, do you get like, hey, I just have these plans and the blueprints come out, and it's like, how do I do this? And
I get that, but then I just kind of remind everybody that wants that you get what you pay for, and if the advice is free.
ooh,
That's just among my family.
harsh.
Yeah, well,
He doesn't look it, does he? He looks very
No.
soft-spoken and
no,
mild-mannered.
actually, I have a
He has a
policy
pretty good
in the
mean streak.
family of just kind of one free project for each person, and then that's it.
Like a doghouse or
Smaller the better.
You go beyond that.
a Barbie house.
Right. Something like that.
What about you? You're in
Um,
school and you're learning, so I imagine your brain gets picked from friends and.
Not so much. To a certain degree, yeah. I've had my family come at me and ask me, questions about doing an addition on the house or something like that, and I walk them through the process, because, as homeowners dealing in residential, sometimes you don't necessarily always need to have an architect to do those types of things for you. As a homeowner, there's a certain amount of freedom that you have to work with the local jurisdiction, city, county. The state of California doesn't require that you be a licensed architect to do residential work. However, it is a good idea to at least consult with one. at the very least consult with one, if not hire one. And of course, there are restrictions on that. So,
Well, that brings up another question. What's, are you general contractors as well? Because I know Gary was, correct? General contractor, architect, and real estate broker? I mean, he has, like, he did everything.
Covered the spectrum.
He did everything, yeah. So is that,
not so much anymore, no.
No?
We primarily have taken it back a step and are now focusing strictly on the architecture. No telling what the future will hold, but for the moment.
so you draw up the plans, okay? And then you hire a contractor to do the work, or how does that work?
No, generally the owner hires them.
Oh, the owner, okay, so you have no control over who they hire?
Not necessarily that, we
You
certainly
do
recommend,
recommendations?
sure.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, and we help them go through the process of, if they want to get bids through contractors, we'll help them through that process. Coordinate with the contractors once the contract has been set with them, answer any questions, make sure that things go off without a hitch. Once the plans are drawn and you have permits in hand, it doesn't mean our job ends.
And then
We're
what
still-
happens? What do you do then?
Well, then we're there to answer questions. We're there to make sure they don't run into any problems if they get out there. There are some unknown conditions in every project, every process. You could get out there and find something that just doesn't fit right, and the plans don't take that into account. So we're still there in that capacity to make sure that we get that taken care of for the client.
So sometimes you have to make last minute adjustments or,
Oh, yeah.
change the plans. So do you do everything including planting flowers and shrubs and?
No, we certainly provide a design service or coordinate that service.
So you provide that as well, a landscaping service?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interiors.
Interiors?
Yeah.
We coordinate that.
Decorating?
Uh,
Yes? No?
Yeah.
Interior design.
Interior design, yeah. We can coordinate that with another consultant. That's really probably the primary function of an architect or an architectural firm, is to coordinate every aspect of the project from the top down with every type of consultant that you can imagine that would be necessary to make
Okay.
sure that project is completed once they are done, once everything is done, that everything has been accounted for.
Soup to nuts,
Exactly.
all the way. A member of our studio audience brought up utilities and, making sure everything is coordinated. I know we have islands and that, I never understand that, but I mean, is that different than being in the city or in a county line or being outside the county line, or does it make a difference about, who's hooked up to what utility?
Oh, yeah.
Then you know all that.
And, well, if we don't, we find out.
Wow.
That's part of the basic planning, early planning stages.
Okay.
Those problems are addressed.
So, okay. So, excellent. So tell me, like, low end, I don't want to say low end as far as quality, because that's never the case, but I mean as far as, I'm just curious, what's the price range? Like from the lowest to the highest? Or do you want to get into that?
It really depends on the project. It's very hard to define because there are so many different pieces to this that usually it's a thing. It's a very
it's a tough
difficult
thing to call.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The first phases might be a fixed fee, let's say, or a estimated fee with not to exceed, and that's for the planning purposes.
Are you talking like several $100, or $1,000, or you don't want to say?
It really
hard.
I don't want to pressure you. I'm just really curious because I don't have any clue. If I came in and sat down in front of you and
What it really boils down to is the scope of the project, how big it is, what you're looking for, where it's located. There's just so many different factors involved that it could be something as simple as a few $100, or it could be something that goes into the thousands. But it really just depends on the project.
are your services kind of like a Chinese menu then? You have one from column A and two from column B, like and then you kind of put it together and you come up with an estimate. It depends on what the client wants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For a simple commercial project recently, for site planning purposes and getting it entitlements finished out. Entitlements allow you to get to a point where you can apply for the building. You'll you can do that building.
Okay.
That's simplified, but basically. A small project, one recently was about, for that phase of it, was about $2,500.
Okay.
Another project, almost the exact same size, I did one recently, was $8,000 for the same thing, because you're dealing with government agencies, different things like that, and you
Understand.
just can't tie it down.
I understand.
So-
Okay, that gives me, well, that does kind of tie it down because it's just,
As the project progresses after that, it's more well-defined. The goals are set. Then
Sure.
you can tie into more specific costs. So
Okay.
That's kind of what we're up against.
you've got a lot of things to juggle all the time, right?
All the time.
A lot of plates are spinning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the impression that I get.
Well, and yeah, like I said, we're the coordinators. You know, we're the ones that are up there. We're the maestro in front of the orchestra. You know, making sure everybody is on cue, on key, and doing their jobs right.
Okay, let's ask a fun question. So what's like your dream job? If somebody came in and said, this is what I want done, it would be like, yeah, I've been waiting for this. What's a dream project?
TV studio.
Kylie, are you listening? Hey, I've got an idea for you. Okay, we'll talk later.
Sure.
Okay.
You know where we're just
I know where you're located. That's right. How about you?
I haven't gotten that far. Probably a custom home, my own custom home.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Just go through and come up with something unique.
Unique.
Yeah. Gary did a custom home, did his home over here in Old Fig Garden area, and when I first went to work for him back in around 2001, I had seen the home driving by it many times, and when I walked into his office and found out that he was the one who did that, I was kind of I don't know what's the
I'm
word.
not worthy.
Yeah,
I'm not worthy.
in a sense, yeah. I mean, I really I was a little starstruck, at first, and then I started learning about all the projects that he did around the valley and around Fresno, and it's like, hey, I've been there. I've been there. It's like I was just walking through, looking at all these pictures in his office, going, this is amazing. All these places that I've been, and we all went through this office, and I'll have to say that his house more than anything inspired me to want to do my own home one day.
Isn't that terrific?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like a groupie. Architects are groupies. Wow, I never thought about
In a
that.
sense they do, I guess.
I think that's really sweet. Okay, so we're up against the clock, believe it or not, once again. But remind me when we come back, it's half over, so I want to give your phone number, your website, and your address, and then we'll do it at the end. All right?
Perfect.
We'll be right back. Don't miss a minute. All right, welcome back. We continue with Len and Charlie from Vigen Associates, and I want to give the address and all of the particulars, and then I shall also do that at the end because I want everybody, if you have any questions at all past this show, I want you to feel comfortable in calling these people because these are the nicest people that you would ever work with, and they will be more than happy to answer your questions. So they're located right here in the Tower District at 1127 East Olive Avenue, it's just right around the corner. And their phone number is 268-2711. Their fax number is 268-1172. And their website is www.vigen.com. So you can find a lot more information going to the website, a lot more photographs, and we're going to be seeing some really stunning photographs of just one of the homes that Gary built and decorated, and yeah, exactly, the one. And so you can really see. Now I have to tell you, I first met Gary through Sissy, through his wife Sissy, through dance, and Gary's like big guy. He was a very big guy, real like Nordic, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's always very proud of his Nordic heritage, and he could really intimidate people just because when he walked into a room.
Oh yeah.
He
He had a way of filling the room.
He did.
You could be the only two people in the room, and the room would feel small.
And he could just look at you, and you didn't know what he's thinking. And then I thought, the first time I met him, I thought, oh my God, I don't want to say anything wrong. He's gonna do I don't know, but he was just like this big teddy bear.
Oh yeah.
And with a wicked sense of humor, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Wicked sense of humor, very dry, and it took me a while to kind of catch on,
Yeah.
and unfortunately I didn't get to know him as well as all of you, and that's a sad day for me. But he's just a brilliant, number one, a true family man, and absolutely considered everybody that worked for him a member of his family.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
He made
right.
it a fun place to work.
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet he did.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you can think of any great stories. We would love to hear them. I don't know if you can tell them.
Right now.
Well, you mentioned, or the house that I mentioned
Yeah.
earlier, that his custom home actually, him and his wife and 2 daughters actually built the whole house. Sissy, Sarah, and Laura. They just. It's an amazing story. It was amazing to hear Gary tell it, how they were out there, with their screwdrivers and their drill guns going, just putting up the walls and digging the trenches and putting in all the plumbing. I mean, it really kind of showed his depth and what he passed on. I mean, he tried to pass that on to everybody that he worked with, everybody that he had in his family, and it was just amazing. He started that with his family.
I know all of them, and I can just
Yeah.
see them all out there working for a common cause.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be our home, and
He was very hands-on.
very hands-on,
Yes.
and the whole family. Oh, it's a great family.
Oh, yeah.
I love all of them, and you would too if you knew them. So, Len, I want to ask you, since you are, how long have you been an architect?
Let's see, about 1986 I was licensed.
Okay.
And, I was with Vigen Associates at the time. And I was there for a few years, and then I went off and did some other things.
Okay.
But I'm recently back.
That's
So
really
it's-
cool that you made
it's
the
a
whole
great place.
circle back home.
Yeah.
Kind of. So what kinds of things have you worked on? What?
Well, done public parks.
Which public parks?
The one-
Be specific.
The one down on Clinton, and one up on Valentine and Fortner. It used to
What
be
are
called
the
Fortner
names?
Park. It used to be called Fortner Park.
Okay.
And this is it was Clinton Park for a while, but the city renames them after a while for different people, so it's can't pinpoint the exact name on them. But I have a real good client here in town, Bowie Enterprises. So
I'm sorry, what was it?
Bowie Enterprises.
Bowie?
I've been doing the red carpet car washes.
Really? I love that place. They do a great car wash. That's.
They're branching out a bit now. They're called Ride and Shine, for the ones you drive through yourself.
Oh,
We're doing some of
really?
those now around town.
So when you
That's always
say,
fun. It's great to have a client like that. And most
then they
architects-
come back and back and back and repeat business, and they spread the word.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's great. Absolutely,
Great
those are the best. Absolutely. So I'm curious. When you say you built or designed a park, did they just have empty lot and they called you and said, we want to do something with this? Okay, so
Soccer field, baseball, or softball,
mhm.
picnic areas, and trails, and all.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's great.
That's
And I've
really-
done some for the Kings River Conservancy down the Kings Rivers.
Okay.
Access parks, public access parks. So,
Did you
doing
have-
one now that's got it's basically almost a mile long, but half of it is an ADA accessible pathway, so they can get to various places along the river.
ADA meaning American
Uh,
Disabilities.
People with disabilities
Yeah.
have access to the park.
Isn't that
But
fantastic?
it's basically just undeveloped, except for the pathways, and so people can, go to different places.
Get
around the
around?
park.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's fun.
Did you were you involved at all with anything with River Park or nothing? Okay, good, because the person, I'm so glad you said that. The person who designed, it's a great shopping center. The parking sucks. Am I right?
Right.
Am I right?
I have a 20-foot long pickup truck, and I can't shop there.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. They get all these great shops. They have a, 2-story parking garage, right, at one end.
You can never find a spot to park.
They took out all the parking and put in more great shops. So what's up with that?
Park across the street and walk over.
Oh, in the other shopping center, the Villagia or whatever it's called.
It meets city standards.
Well, city
Yeah.
standards could use some upgrading. I mean, I love the idea of the turnaround. No, nobody knows how to use that turnaround. After how many years has it been there?
Yeah.
It's like no one knows what yield means. That means you stop and the other person goes around the little turn thing, and they're all fighting. It's like,
Yeah.
We'll have a few more in town soon.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know if that's wise or not. People in Fresno just don't seem to get the whole.
They're building a project similar to River Park on the southeast part of town.
Oh, they are.
Down in Fowler, north of Kings Canyon. And that has a traffic circle in it.
Well, okay. So how could you fix the parking at River Park? I mean, what would you do? Add another story or two to the parking structure, or
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it economically.
No.
no?
No. It's pretty much what it is.
And so it's shot to hell, is what you're saying.
Well,
Yeah, if you're like me and you're impatient about finding a parking spot, yeah,
And I am.
you just don't go.
I just want to go and park. I don't want to drive around for 15 minutes looking for a parking spot.
Show up early.
That's exactly, and not on the weekend. Just to update us, do you know anything that's going on with Granite Park? Because that was a real exciting potential for Fresno, and it just kind of fizzled.
We had some involvement. Our office actually did the Panda Express out there.
Okay,
Because
all right.
Panda Express is one of our clients as well, and so we worked on that, and I know the city's had some issues with it, and beyond that, I'm not really sure.
Well, it's too bad because they did have some great ideas,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't really know what happened to it. Is it ever going to be resurrected? Do you think, or?
Don't know.
And speaking of Granite Park, what about that other development that went down? Was the big, like Donald Trump was involved for a while, and is that something we don't bring up?
it's,
Is that okay? I didn't know. Sorry.
it's really a viable project. We
Oh.
got to put all the pieces together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our office was also involved in that at one point.
Well, that again was such a beautiful thing, and
Yeah.
and a huge potential, and just things just don't always gel, do they? I guess, to
Yeah,
say the
sometimes.
least, right?
Yeah, I mean that's just the way life goes sometimes. You know? It's
Absolutely.
Either it works or it doesn't.
Now, were you in favor of him getting involved in that or not? And you can be honest,
Well,
because I don't
I
know.
think he's the only one that's really kept the dream alive.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be real.
So do you think it would have been a good thing if it had?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it was
yeah.
worthwhile for him. It was something he believed in.
Yeah, and
It could make it
the
happen.
golf, was going to be like a
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a
5-star
world-class.
golf. What
Yeah, the PGA. It would've
PGA,
been-
PGA, yeah, standard golf course.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, you know what?
So,
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Things can always turn around. And I hope it does.
No.
I hope it does because, the whole revitalization of Fresno. There's so much that can be done, and
Definitely.
we don't want to talk about the economy, but that has a lot to do with it, right?
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely we will. Okay. Up for another commercial. So we'll be back and we'll delve more into the risky world of architecture.
Such rebels.
The rebels. I can't believe this is. Welcome back for our last segment. Believe it or not, I can't believe it. I could talk about this for at least another hour. I do want to relay that Vigen Associates has been in business for 31 years here in Fresno. 31 years. They just have a stellar reputation, and like I said, the nicest people that you could ever work with. I can't emphasize this enough, that they will be happy to answer all your questions. If you have any projects, if you know anybody who has any projects, if you're uncertain about, what to do at this point, give them a call, and they will be happy to, either direct you to the person that you need to talk to, or invite you in and discuss it further. So I can't emphasize that enough, because I feel a lot easier if I had like a building question or a project that I would, I wouldn't be afraid, to pick up the phone and call an architect. Yeah, right. So I know that Gary and his family are huge animal lovers.
Oh, yeah.
And, So what, and that or other things, what kind of things is the business involved with as far as a community level?
Well, like you said, the animals, we're reaching out to SPCA and some other animal shelters to try and get involved. We've got some plans in the works right now for a contest where we're going to try and reach out to the local schools and do a design contest, perhaps with some of their
how fun.
with some of their drafting classes.
Designing what?
Actually, we're talking about doing a doghouse. It kind of fits in really well with the architecture, and it's a way to get student involvement from within the community, and we'll act as judges, and then at the end, possibly even get out there with them with the hammer and nails and help them build it.
Oh, fabulous!
So it's we're definitely looking forward to that. We're starting to get more involved with projects that come around through the American Institute of Architecture or of Architects, AIA as it's known.
Okay.
They have various design projects that they put out every year. So we're talking about getting involved with some of those, which would be a lot of fun, and just as a it's a way to challenge ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That just a lot of good stuff in the coming years.
I have a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. When you do your contest
Mm-hmm.
and you choose a winner,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love for the student to come on with the judges,
Okay.
whatever. We can talk about the plan and bring the animal that it was built for, or whatever animal is associated with that. Would that be fun?
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
It'd be a lot
That
of
would be
fun.
wonderful. I would love that, because you saw what I do at the top of my show.
Yep.
So I love the animals
Definitely.
too. So I think that would be great. It would give them exposure
Oh, definitely.
and more exposure for vegan associates.
Works.
So,
Yeah.
and I know that Gary and Sissy would love it if any donations were made in his memory to the SPCA.
Oh yes.
More than welcome. And of course, that is a cause near and dear to my heart. Any of the animal foundations here locally, especially the no-kill shelters. But like when we had our guests on, it's so important to keep the money here in the community to help the shelters here.
Definitely.
So I'm really happy to hear that. Okay, I just thought of something else. What is there's probably many and varied, but you think of Harvard Medical School or law school or Yale or Stanford or blah blah blah. What is the architectural school that is just the best,
Well,
if there is such a thing?
around in this area, you have to say Cal Poly.
Cal Poly.
Oh, yeah.
They have an architectural school?
Oh yeah, that's
I thought they were just cows and stuff.
really well grounded. Well,
yeah.
I do.
Your
That's
host
part
is
of
not
it.
the
That's
sharpest knife in the drawer, okay?
Different department. That's the one the architect designed barns for. That's the different part.
So, Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo.
Mhm. That's premier. They
Wow.
got great design school, and they've got a great technology school. So they learn all about buildings as well as just the art part.
That is outstanding. I had no, because the only reason I know Cal Poly is because I was in FFA, and we would go down there for conventions and stuff. So it was all agricultural to me. So I had no idea they had a world outside of,
Oh, yeah.
the cow building and the sheep fields and stuff. So that's really cool. What about in the United States? Is there?
Well,
You smile. I could
don't
just.
know.
I mean,
It's hard to
you're-
say.
There are many.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
really,
I figured there would
some
be.
of them are, strictly design type studio
Mhm.
approach.
Yeah.
Those are
But-
the ones you hear about.
Other than Cal Poly, you know, if somebody showed up in
Yeah.
your office with XYZ school on their resume, what was like, oh my God, they went to, you know, that school.
No, I think we might pick somebody like that's from Taliesin, which is
What?
Taliesin. It's the name of Frank Lloyd Wright's school.
Oh, where's that?
It's an apprenticeship type architectural school.
Oh, outstanding.
The students spend 6 months of the year back in Wisconsin and 6 months of the year out in Arizona, Scottsdale. And so that's pretty much a ground-up learning situation.
Isn't it? I love his.
In Arizona, they're given a 9-foot by 9-foot square piece of concrete, and they have to build their own shelter on it.
Like a living shelter?
Yeah.
I saw a guy living in a dumpster.
I don't think they probably wouldn't pass the design standards.
No, because the structure's already made, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cheating.
Art Dyson, architect here in town, went through that process.
How
In fact, he
fun.
was head of the school for a while,
Really?
not too long ago.
Wow.
So,
Now, we have some of the mission-style homes that were post-World War II down in, like the Tower District, and I love those homes. Do you do anything as far as restoration or maintaining historical buildings in Fresno, or is that not anything that you're involved with?
Not a lot.
I've been involved with, at different times, a different architecture firm I was with. We did part of the Mukes home.
Yeah,
We did
love
work on
that.
Kearney Mansion.
Oh, yeah, I love that too.
Some of those.
I think it's a shame to destroy some of these older buildings and,
Well, being located here in the Tower District, we've had a lot of ties to the Tower District through the years. Gary sat on the design review board with the city for the Tower District, so he was able to kind of bring an architect's point of view into some of the design work that was being done down here to try and keep it in line with how it was meant to be in its
isn't that's just so great. And
Yeah.
I can just see him so passionate
Oh,
about
yeah.
doing that, to be
Oh, yeah.
genuine and true and, authentic,
Oh yeah.
and I just think that's wonderful. I've got to wrap this up, and
Okay.
I can't believe it, but I want to thank Charlie and Len from Vigen Associates and all the office for coming down and supporting them and supporting me. And this show is dedicated to Gary Vigen and his family, both his bio family and his office family. And he was just such an asset to our Fresno community and such a good man. It's a good man. And I just want to roll the last bit of footage, and at the end you'll see a picture of Gary, and we'll always remember him, and always love him, and always appreciate all the work that he's done here in our community. So, Kylie, can you roll that, please? So you're free to chime in on any of these. I think that,
Yeah,
that's right around
Northgate Center up there by River Park.
Exactly, I
Yeah.
live very near there.
Yeah.
Very near there. And I think some of the pictures will show the house that Gary and
Oh yeah.
the house that Vigen built,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Vigen et al., the whole
Um,
family.
Yeah, a retail center there.
Oh, yeah,
out,
Orbit,
yeah,
yes,
Orbit Cafe.
absolutely.
That was a vegan office. Vegan house.
Is that right?
Yeah.
In that building there.
Okay.
North Fork Community Center, worked with the local tribe up there.
Excellent.
Worked on that.
Cascade Homes.
Yeah, out in Chowchilla. Really nice housing
I
tract out
love
there.
that style, that whole Mediterranean style. What's your favorite style? I mean, as far as building,
That's pretty
is
appropriate for the valley, too.
Yeah.
is it contemporary that you
Yeah,
like, or
makes sense.
yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, on the
Tudor
lake.
mansions aren't mine.
Tracy, California.
Oh, wow,
Another
okay.
McDonald's we did
Yeah.
up there. San Jose, that was an interesting building, very Art Deco.
I love
design.
Art Deco. That's
Yeah.
my favorite era, Art Deco.
Tahoe.
Wow, you
Yeah.
guys get around.
Oh yeah. Well, we've been all over the state. The first franchise store in California.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And that's just right up the street or
Yeah,
down. I can't.
projects in
what-
other states, Montana and Washington,
Oh yeah.
Oh, outstanding.
Nevada.
And just while these pictures are rolling, just one more time, this is Vigen Associates, and they're at 1127 East Olive. Their phone number is 268-2711, and their website is www.vigen.com. And that's vegan like V-I-G-E-N, not vegan like the vegetarian. Yeah, it's different, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Quite a bit different.
Yeah, I made that mistake for a long time. What is that?
Grunfo's Pumps
Yeah.
out in Clovis.
Oh, very
That's
nice.
Their corporate offices. A lot of steel work involved there. A really beautiful office.
It's so clean. The aesthetic
Yeah.
is just so clean.
That was Gary. He definitely.
Yeah,
he did.
absolutely. The office is very reflective of,
Mhm.
you know.
But yeah, he had a lot of influence in this valley. You really can't go
Anywhere
without
without
seeing
seeing and not
it.
knowing.
Yeah.
There should be like little brass plaques on every building. And what award was that? I didn't catch that. Oh, okay, here we go.
Here's the
Here's
vegan
okay.
residence.
Now
Probably
this
amazing.
really pay attention. This is really something.
Yeah.
That's the-
Corrugated metal and.
The team that will help you,
That's what- that's
and
a
it,
conference
Associates
room.
team.
and it's a
In
great
our office
team.
now.
And there's Gary.
And there's Gary.
Out there with his sign.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Vigen Associates.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good. We'll see you next time.